AFTV, James, I could tell by the disappointment that's been on your face since the game that you're really, really crestfallen about it. And it was a real deflating defeat, wasn't it? Because again, they ain't really had to do much, Villa.
They really didn't have to do a lot at all. A bit like Wolves, didn't have to do much, and we walk away with 0 points from 6 games, having not really been outplayed in any of them. They were the credit to Villa because they were the better team in terms of their energy, their work rate, their spirit, but they didn't play us off the park in a footballing sense. And you know, a mistake really early on. I mean, it's kind of like it goes back to the grassroots of football. What do you say? You say, have a good start, be focused, go out there, just do the basics right, settle yourselves in and play your football. It's either that or make a fast start. If you're not going to make a fast start and be on the front foot, at least get the basics right. And we didn't, and we paid for it early on. Match lost in the first minute.
Yeah, lost in the first minute. And it was concerning, isn't it, that, you know, we still had the whole game to get a goal back and we just couldn't break them down.
Yeah, there are a few positives. So of the few, I may as well bring them up now before I rant. One of the positives, Matt Ryan. He looks a very sensible bit of business and a good backup keeper, so credit to him. Bukayo Saka, I thought, when it wasn't really working on the right, he did well at left back. He did very well at left back, actually, and that's a good thing because it shows that you can play around with his position, his development, and he's going to have an impact. Trying to think of other positives. None. Oh, Pepe. Actually, do you know what the positive with Pepe? He didn't play that well, but he was still dangerous and making things happen. I think that's a positive. But, you know, I forgot what the question was. The negatives, right, the negatives. Obviously the result and the fact that we couldn't really create anything. We didn't create anything clear-cut. Maybe that Odegaard chance. That's another positive, that Odegaard looked quite bright when he came on. And then I know the referee's been a topic of discussion today again. I don't want to talk about it too much. It should be a penalty on Lacazette, but ultimately we still didn't do enough to win the game. All right, we might get a penalty, but we're not winning it, and that's the disappointment. I thought there'd be more of a response from the boys after what happened against Wolves, and there wasn't. But for me, there's questions on the manager, on Arteta again today. I think he got the right 11 right, but I thought he made mistakes in his subs. I don't know how you feel about it, but...
Well, the Willian ones...
disastrous.
You heard Lee.
Yeah.
I don't know, you might not have heard Lee, but he's doing his video, and he said even his mum and dad would be questioning... Arteta's mum and dad would be questioning him, right, for why he bought a Willian, which I did think was pretty funny. But all of us sat in that room and we were all baffled. We're like, Martinelli's on the bench. Danny Ceballos is even on the bench if you're bringing off Partey.
Yeah.
Willian, a guy who has had a tough time this season, has not done anything really, apart from that first game against Fulham. You're bringing him on to impact the game. I was just like... Yeah. It was completely baffling to me. I was just like, I still can't understand. I mean, you'll ask him, probably he'll be asked a question and he'll say, listen, we back Willian, he's a great player, but we've not seen it this season.
No, we haven't. And when you don't have, when it's not coming off for you on the ball and you're not making things happen throughout the season, you got to revert to work rate and energy and enthusiasm, and there's no player that epitomises that more in this Arsenal squad than Martinelli, and he didn't come on, and that was really disappointing. The other thing that went a little under the radar for me was that he brought Cedric off rather than Bellerin. Why didn't he move Cedric to right back? I know it's a small pool of games, and I'm not saying he's the answer for the next year or two, but currently Cedric is a better footballer than Bellerin. I won't have anything other than that. Bellerin is not good enough on the ball. He's trying to play in this kind of inverted wing-back role, which, and I sound really harsh when I say this, but it requires serious footballing intelligence. Some of the best who did it were like Joshua Kimmich or Philip Lahm, like really intelligent right-backs, and Bellerin's not that. Kyle Walker, who at least has the athleticism to make up for it. Bellerin has none of the skill, the real footballing intelligence at the highest level to play that role. I'm not saying Cedric is the perfect player for that position, but at least give him a run where Bellerin's been failing. Let him have a go on that side and then swap Saka. So that's another thing. It worries me that he seems to rate Bellerin so highly. Another thing that worries me is that Partey's gone off injured because he's played 3 games in 7 days, when all we heard was excuses about the FA Cup starting 11, saying how he needs to rotate players because of injuries, and you know he won't do it. He won't have these players playing all these games. Well, I'm not sure the evidence is really there for that. So we've thrown away a position in the Cup because he played a pretty disgraceful 11 in that. And now the league campaign's pretty much done. Let's be honest, I know teams will drop points. If we go on a great run, we will catch them. We might finish 6th, but we're not going to go on that run. So what's left? The Europa. Are you confident about Europa?
No. The next game, Benfica will be as good as Villa, if not better.
Yeah.
So, so for everybody who's just thinking, oh, well, we'll just go and win the Europa League. Get past Benfica, you still got, even in the Premier League, you've still got Leicester in there, you've still got Man United in there, you've still got, very good teams left in the Europa League. So to win the Europa League, although we did win the FA Cup last year when nobody gave us a prayer, but listen, you can do that once. Can you do that twice? Honestly, the league would be our best route. To win a cup competition, nobody can. How many times do you see even the favourites of a cup competition early on in it, and they're the favourites? How many times do they actually win it?
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, you could be right about the season. Yeah, that could be it.
I think it probably is, and of course it's not. Of course, factually it's not. Of course, we can always turn it around, and of course it wasn't that long ago. We were playing some of our. It was Tuesday for the first half. We were playing our best half of the season, and things look fluid and brilliant. But I think the problem is that there are still too many players. Ultimately, Mark Goldbridge is a great saying for it. I'm not going to repeat, but you can spray perfume on something, but it ain't going to change. The point is, I think there are too many players who you can give them a good system and you teach them how to be part of the build-up and you coach them and suddenly they look quite good. Rob Holding's a good example. He's looked good recently. He's looked very good recently, actually. But is he the answer at centre-back for Arsenal? Hector Bellerin's looked quite good recently. Is he the answer at Arsenal? Granit Xhaka's looked very good recently, but is he the answer for where we want to be in the future? I think there are too many players that quite simply aren't. And that doesn't mean they don't have a use. That doesn't mean they won't be part of the squad. But I just worry about some of the players that Arteta's putting his faith in. Albeit, we've seen progress over the last month. Credit to him for that. And even today, when you really think about it, there were moments of progress in the build. There were moments where you thought, all right, I can see what we're trying to do. I can see what the team's trying to do here. But ultimately, the quality's still lacking in the squad. Until we address that, we're not going to see much better than this.
Today's show is sponsored by Profit Accumulator, the #1 match betting service in the UK. Match betting is different to gambling. With gambling, you bet on one side, and if that side loses, you lose. With match betting, you bet on both sides. That means no matter what the outcome, you're a winner. When you sign up to Profit Accumulator, they will walk you through the whole process of how to do match betting, and as long as you follow what they tell you, you cannot lose. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description right now for your free trial and you can start earning some real cash.